So, I have chronic kidney stones, and I'm used to them. It's been like years that I've had them. I mean, you don't really get used to the pain. You kind of find ways to manage that kind of helps. But anyways, I wanted to. I've never filmed what it's like when there's like a flare up and you're in a lot of pain. So nobody really knows what it's like, and I'm not gonna explain that much. I'm gonna explain a little bit, but I'm just gonna try to leave it to just what you see. Oh, although I am noticing now that I have the camera on, I don't want to sit here going ooh, ooh, as much. Like that's what I've been doing for the past like 30 minutes to an hour. But now that I turn the camera on, it's like I want to censor it. It's just kind of interesting. But yeah, right. It's kidney stone. Kidney stone pain can be really different depending on each time. For me right now, it's mainly pain on the back side and the front side on my right side, where kind of where my hip is. I mean, it's honestly going from like my mid back and mid stomach all the way down to like where the V is, getting down to the private regions. It's just really bad pain there, but it's almost internal because it is a kidney stone, so that makes sense. It's more like internal, but it's radiating out to those external locations. And I don't know why, but I've noticed that whenever I have these kidney stone flare-ups, whenever I have these kidney stone flare-ups, it also makes my stomach upset. So my stomach's like really upset right now. And it also messes with your stomach in terms of pooping. Like I've been having like almost diarrhea-like stuff, and a lot's been coming out. So that's interesting, the stomach relation there. Uh, and also, since it messes with your stomach, it makes you feel like you kind of gotta puke. And if the pain gets high enough, you do puke. It's just how it is. So, obviously, I'm not gonna make a 30-minute video of this, but I'm just gonna kind of record this flare up a little bit, just so people can get an idea of what a kidney stone flare up's like. Oh, right now I'm kind of in a phase where like I was laying down, hoping that I could just lay down and it would get better, but it wasn't, and I'm kind of in a. It's gonna be different. But I'm kind of in a point right now where like just flailing around all over the floor is what is best. Kind of, I know that sounds weird, but it's like as I'm flailing, it's like I'm getting small little reliefs from the pain, and I couldn't get that when I was just laying down flat. And it's kind of different. Sometimes laying down flat is better. So I'm not saying one's better than the other. It just kind of depends. But right in this second, like I'm actually rubbing my back in the spot that it hurts, and I'm getting little minuscule pain reliefs. And it's like when the pain is this severe, which right now I'm probably at like 8 out of 10, a little minuscule pain relief is beautiful. Like it's beautiful. And yeah. I also, my goal is to figure out what triggers my flare-ups. Because before this, I went almost a month without any kidney stones, no flare-ups, no pain from a kidney stone. But then out of nowhere, it happens now. So my plan, I don't have any big ideas right now, but I'm logging everything and hoping I can kind of figure out what triggers it. And not only what triggers it, but what can help with it as well. And I've found some things. So right here, this is a heating pad. Heating pads help tremendously. Like, you can go from like 9 out of 10 pain, put a heating pad on the spot, and it's just like instant relief. Which it's weird right now because I thought that it was going to be better than rolling around and massaging the spots like I'm doing now, but for some reason the heating pad isn't as good with that right now, which is weird. Because usually the heating pad's like OP. I've also heard that magnesium can actually like say you put it in like tea or something, it can dissolve it, and I have experimented with that. And every time I've experimented, about 1 or 2 days later, the kidney stone pain is gone. So I can't verify that that's just random. The pain just stopped, because usually kidney stone pain, well, it kind of depends. But I can't verify that the magnesium kind of like dissolved it and stopped it. But it's likely. I'm going to keep experimenting over time. I would prefer it where I don't have to be in pain and then it dissolves. I prefer to just like mitigate that 100% and not have to have the trigger in pain where I'm wasting time rolling around on my floor. Because that's exactly how, like, I can't do anything right now. I'm just in too much pain to even sit at my desk. Oh, yeah. 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 This definitely isn't like a super severe trigger right now. I've had it where I can't even talk, or I have to take huge pauses in between each thing I say, and that's not the case right now. So you can tell it's not as bad right now. I mean, it's still pretty. It's like 8 out of 10 though. Ugh. It feels like I need to poop. I don't know what's up with that. It's like it feels like I need to, but I've already tried multiple times and I've already done a bunch and nothing else is coming out. So it's like, why does it? It's interesting that it feels like I need to poop. How's that related to kidney stones? Oh. You can hear stuff in the background. Something, if you're a kidney stone sufferer, something that helps is to kind of have something, like if you don't have someone to hang out with, I'd say someone hanging out with you can kind of, that presence can be pretty nice and distracting. But if you don't have anybody, just put like a Twitch stream on or put something on, and just that little bit of background noise can be really valuable. Yeah. Something that also helps sometimes is pressure on the spot. So sometimes, I know there's been multiple times where I'll just like lay against the bed and you get like a little bit of pain relief, but oh, yeah. Yeah. It's weird, but just letting out, like, you know when someone's in pain and they're like, like that does help. It's weird, but it does help. I feel weird doing it on camera, but I also want to be authentic to like how it is when I'm off camera, you know? Anything that can help someone else that's going through this shit. I wouldn't wish this on my worst freaking enemies. I'll often experiment with like different mindsets to see if they help. Typically not really, but sometimes a certain mindset can help a little bit, but it's not like all the other things I said are much stronger. Like there's, it's a bit woo-woo, but you know, there's the common thing where religious people, they say give whatever you're dealing with to God. And it's an interesting thing to like turn that into a mindset. Oh shit. Sorry. It's really getting intense now. But fuck, dude. But they say give whatever the pain is to God. So I try to conceptualize this in my mind. So think of it this way. What are you? This is for anybody, not even dealing with kidney stones. If you close your eyes and you think about what am I? Well, are you your body? No, your body changes drastically over time. Everything, all your cells, there's like something, and maybe this is wrong, but I've heard that your cells, like every cell in your body is regenerated. That might be wrong, but it was like every X amount of time, every cell is regenerated. Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah, it's really hurting right now, man. But you're not your body, because your body obviously changes. You can lose a limb, you're still you. You're not your thoughts. You can observe your thoughts. You can meditate. You'll see your thoughts come and go. That's not you. Your thoughts change over time. You can consciously change them, or they just change by themselves. If anything, you're more like the observer, watching the thoughts, watching the body. And the observer, well, what's the observer? Well, there's a lot to that. A lot of people think the observer is a part of the physical mind. But it's like you could view it that way, which is kind of limiting. Or you could view it as it's kind of this infinite thing. It's thing that is everything. And that doesn't really make sense, but in a way it can make sense. So we all came from exploded star material, and those materials formed the Earth, and then it formed us. Well, it started with much lower level life forms, not in a discriminatory way, but less complicated life forms. And as what we know, all this material started at the Big Bang. So you're made of star material, and then over time we're gonna hook up to Neuralink. Everybody's gonna have a Neuralink. We're gonna be much smarter, much quicker access to information, much more information. My brain can't store much. I can barely remember crap. And then we're all going to be interconnected in more of like a planetary consciousness kind of way. I think so there may be AI before that, and they're going to be intelligent AI. and we'll probably connect with them, and we'll become one with the AI. So then we'll kind of be a planetary consciousness. And if you think about it, right now you're just like this body. But then when that happens, you're more than just a body. You're like multiple bodies. And you're like multiple bodies. So it's like, if you ask yourself then, what are you? It's really complex. I guess you're still the thing observing. Just at a bigger level, you're observing more stuff. And so what's beyond that? Well, we don't know. I don't even know where to go from there. It's like, but maybe we get closer to the infinite thing that we intuitively feel as us. Like we're this observer that seems to be infinite, but it also seems to be nothing, so it's weird. It's like the exploded star material became conscious, and that infinite is like the connection to that exploded star material. It's like everything that makes up this universe is us, and we can kind of feel that as the observer. It's like the observer was this thing that wasn't conscious, but then it became conscious. And God, I'm in pain. But in a more simple format, you can think of yourself as, you're the universe. You're everything. You're literally everything. And that's what's doing the observing. And you can, if you are everything, you are infinite. But you kind of have this attention that focuses on limited stuff right in the moment, right now. Then you can give. If you're suffering, you can give that to the infinite. That's kind of like the religious way of thinking about it. There's another way of thinking about it where it's like you are infinite. So you're infinite, not in pain. But then it's like it starts to conflict with reality, because it's like obviously the body is feeling intense pain. Your body is feeling intense pain. And it's like, but you are infinite healthiness. You don't, infinite calmness, infinite peacefulness, not pain. Infinite not pain. And it feels like they might contradict, but you can choose what you identify with. You choose to identify with that thing that's infinite, not pain. Infiniteness. But you also, it doesn't change the fact that you're observing the actual pain. And that's where I get mixed up a little bit, because it's like, you can't really stop observing the pain, or maybe you can, and maybe it just takes practice. But I feel like you'd have to be careful there, because the pain's there for a good reason sometimes. So you don't want to like block it out completely. You want it to be there to signal you. You want it to be, efficient. Like, yeah, you can tell me there's a kidney stone in there, and that's not right. But you don't gotta like cause me to sit here be in pain for hours, days. So even there, I said me be in pain. So it's like that. I am the pain. I'm identifying with the pain. If the pain is happening to me, I am existing as something that's feeling the pain. So it's like, how can I be more of the infinite and give the pain to the infinite? Say there's an advanced civilization that can like change things in time and help people that are back in time, and they got access to reality in ways we can't think of. Maybe that's one thing to keep in mind. Crazy stuff I'm talking about here, by the way. Honestly, just making this video has distracted me a whole bunch, which is fantastic. But I don't want to make it too long, so I'm gonna start rolling around on the floor, groaning some more, and end this video. Anybody going through this shit, I'm here with you, man. Or girl, or Anything in between, I'm here with you.